Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Eternal Phoenix again, coming at you with another video. My name is Destiny Hall. I'm doing this for Drew Gibson and for his family, okay? This is specific. This is for Terry Myers in general, okay? I have some information. If you're, I don't know how I would even begin to get this message out to you, but I've got to at least try to at least get it to the FBI, somebody, okay? So I came across, an appeal that happened in 2008, okay, or 2010. Let me double check that. Okay, it was filed in 2010, okay, and on this appeal, and I have it printed out for specific reasons, because I wanted to know what happened to his brother, because, like, some of the things in the story, that he told me, which, don't get me wrong, Drew, it's not your fault, like, it seemed off to me, and, like, I was looking for something totally different that had something to do. Actually, my friend, or used to be friend, Sarah, was looking for something totally different one day and came across this appeal. Okay. And I looked up the number. Okay. It says trial court number, and it gives, 08F0682-202. Well, I'll look up that number, and it's a Supreme Court number. It's supposed to be a Supreme Court docket number. Okay, well, then above it, then you have in the Court of Appeals, 6th Appellate District of Texas at Texarkana. I thought it was supposed to be in the District of Bowie County. I thought it was supposed to say 6th Appellate District of Bowie County. That's how all the other ones are looking. Why does this one say of Texas at Texarkana? That should be your first red flag right there of the illegitimacy of this fucking appeal. Okay? And then, before Morris C.J. Carter and Mosley J.J. Memorandum opinion by Justice Mosley, like third red flag. It says, on appeal from the 202nd Judicial District Court. I wanted to say, like, that was Bill Miller's court back then. Because then it went to Lockhart. And then he stepped down. Okay, so back then it was Bill Miller's court. Okay? It says memorandum opinion. Like, that, if it's an appeal, it's not supposed to say that at all. It's supposed to say the appeal number and the original, not the appeal number, but the actual original court docket number on it, not this bullshit. That's what it looks like for an appeal, and I know that an appeal does not look like that. I've seen them. Okay, it says, after he was convicted by a jury of murder and assessed a sentence of life imprisonment, Austin Kyle Davis has filed his appeal. Okay, first of all, when you file an appeal, it literally says that in the beginning of it, it is supposed to say this statement is true to the best of my knowledge, to the best of this court's ability. It's something along those lines, okay? It's supposed to look official. This is not official. This looks like a fucking story. Like somebody wrote this up and posted it through the circuit court. Okay? He now complains that the evidence was legally and factually insufficient to support the jury's findings, that the trial court erred in omitting photographs of the deceased victim into evidence, that he was improperly refused a lesser-included offense instruction. It's insurrection. It is insurrection. For the 10 billionth time, it's insurrection. Instruction. What the... Sorry, but what the actual fuck, okay? And I look like shit right now because, like, I've literally been hounded by Bo and Spirit for fucking months now to get this shit done. Okay. And it says, and that the victim's mother should not have been allowed to testify as victim impact evidence. What? Victim impact evidence. Is that even a legal, like... I didn't think so. I didn't think that it was a legal fucking... like, a terminology in court. It's not. Now there was it goes on and it gives it an actual penal code, but it was a Supreme Court hearing. I think it was a Johnson versus State. I think it was where there was certain evidence that was inadmissible to the court because it was too graphic or they didn't want to traumatize the family. That's different. Not the fact of Miss Gibson testifying on behalf of her son. Okay, so factual and procedural history. First of all, hold on. I'm going to look up like an actual example of an appeal, how an appeal should be written. Because, like, it's just all wrong. Like, it's all wrong. Definitely wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. There we go. That's what I was saying. Okay, so it's supposed to say a motion for an appeal, or it's supposed to be something really sophisticated, and it's not a fucking mendemorium opinion. That means like this is just based off of opinion only, not actual factual evidence. So where's the original court docket if it ever happened? Bowie County. So, factual and procedural history. Bullet number 1, Roman numeral. Davis had been a friend of the victim, Bowie Gibson. However, there was an offense by Davis against Gibson for which Davis was jailed, and Davis was forced to post bond. 10 days before Gibson's death, Davis's girlfriend, Ramona Johnson, collected $500 to secure a release. Collected $500 to secure release on bond. What? 10 days before Gibson's death, Davis's girlfriend's Ramona Johnson collective. Why is that relevant to this case? Like, why is the bond amount relevant at all? Like, why was it even relevant at that point? Like, they should only been like, well, 10 days before Gibson's death, you know, he posted bond. They should have compacted that. Okay, that the fact that they've had to put $500 in there is my first red flag to me. Okay. To secure a release on bond, like that had nothing to do with the amount of the bond shouldn't have had any relevancy to do with the case. I believe that's just me. That's pure opinion. I'm not an attorney. I will strive to be an attorney, but I'm literally just trying to see the error in this for a good reason. Okay, the need for the expenditure of the bond money infuriated Davis. See, it's a story, not an actual appeal. This is not an appeal. This is somebody telling a story. Not an appeal, not a court appeal. It's fake, it's false. Right there from the jump, it's false. Respectively to Bowie Gibson, because I know this is a touchy subject for their family, but they deserve to know the truth. They do. Because they've ruined they've ruined both their lives. Bo's dead, and Austin Davis is walking around on the street still as Miles Davis. Okay, but here, let's just go through this whole fucking bullshit just to prove how shitty Bowie County really is. Okay, and that's one reason why all the officials are stepping down and fucking be like, well, except for Bobby Lockhart. Bobby Lockhart's innocent because he was actually attempted to be bribed by Bill Miller, by the way, and Judge Addison is dead and nobody's even batting an eye. It went to complete shit within a blink of an eye. It says the need for the expenditure of bond money infuriated Davis. Johnson, called as an adverse witness by the state, testified that Davis said he was going to go and get that fool's weed, and he was going to go resell it to make money back that I had to put up for bond. Just in general, just about every day, I had to talk him down out of going over there because he was angry. What? These same kinds of threats were overheard by Catherine Cunningham, a mutual friend of Davis and Gibson. Cunningham testified that Davis had said that he was going to go over to Gibson's house and kill him. He just thought about it and he said, fuck it. I'm just going to go over there and take his shit and get my money back. Okay, first of all, that's wrong. That's all wrong. And I know that it's wrong because it was my money that was stolen. It was my inheritance money from my grandfather who passed away in 2009. And see, here's the thing: is we were gonna go over there and plan. I planned it out carefully so nobody would get hurt, and it wasn't Bo's fault. Okay, Bo and Emery were friends. Bo and Emery were friends. Okay, and we made a plan to go over there and get my inheritance money back that was stolen from me by Austin Kyle Davis. Okay, then we were just going to go over there. It was going to be me, Yayo, Emery, and Bo. Okay, and Drew was the little brother at that time. Because actually my birth certificate has been falsified and changed. They said that I was born in 91, and in all factuality I was born in 89. October 31st, 89. Instead of 10/17/91. Which I have proof of that too. My birth certificate's out in the fucking car, locked the fuck up. And it's not illegible at all. At all. Like, it's handwritten, and every birth certificate is supposed to be printed because it's on carbon copy paper. The type of paper that it's on, it has to be printed. It cannot be handwritten. My birth certificate that I got is handwritten, and I tried to look up the freaking the number on it, and it says it's invalid. So fuck you, sincerely, Mom. I'm pissed off. So that's what really was supposed to happen. We were supposed to go retrieve my inheritance money from my grandfather, who passed away from a brain-induced aneurysm, by the way, in Tyler, Texas. But they just wanted to play. They've been imprinting memories into people's minds, which is fucked up. And I know that's hard to prove in court, but the fact of the matter is, black magic is real, and it works if you know what the fuck you're doing. Eventually, it wears off. And anybody who's a part of a secret society who's tapped in knows that. Respectively to y'all. Okay. Johnson and Cunningham failed to report the threats before the murder occurred. Davis's anger did not subside. On the day of the murder, Davis discovered that his friend, David Sherrod, had a pistol for sale. And Davis asked Sherrod if he could try out the gun before purchasing it. And so, like, this isn't even an actual court proceeding. At all. This isn't an appeal of a court proceeding at all. This is a restatement of it looks like a statement of the events that happened. A police statement that happened, and nothing ever came of it. They staged it. This I'm not even going to continue reading it, but they staged this entire fucking thing sloppily, and then somebody died for it. And then within a 15-minute time period, Bo was killed. According to Sutton, Davis knocked on Gibson's door, and the pair were allowed entry. Davis walked to a futon in the living area and sat beside Gibson and his girlfriend, Brittany Morris, and the group engaged in small talk about movies. That's not true. This is all falsified. Every last bit of it. Okay, so... But this is a key thing. Suddenly, Davis pulled out a gun from his hoodie. This frightened Sutton, who immediately ran out the door of the second-story apartment and down the stairs. Pausing at the front of the stairs when he heard gunshots, Sutton then ran behind the apartment, jumped a fence, and continued running until he reached his home. Sutton testified that no one had threatened Davis and that the only weapon displayed while he was on the apartment was that carried by Davis. You know, I want to know who wrote this report. I don't know, maybe a Jeremy fucking Poole. That I just saw energetically write this motherfucker? I'm a fucking seer. I'm a mystic. I'm a medium. I'm not stupid and I'm not insane. Every thought and intent that I have is my own. I'm of sound mind and in sound judgment as well. And I'm pissed off because this has been going on for so fucking long. But then it goes, Sutton testified that no one had threatened Davis and that the only weapon displayed while he was in the apartment was that carried by Davis. So, was there a gun or was there not a gun? Was there a gun or not a gun? Because at first it said he pulled one out of his jacket, and then all of a sudden Sutton backpedaled and was like, oh, that he didn't have one. Or he had one, but it was displayed. So it was like in a casing. Like a collectible item. Okay. 17-year-old Morris described the horrific scene which unfolded when she was looking forward to enjoying a movie with Gibson and Rebosi. Okay, who the fuck is Rebosi? Brandy Lee Chisholm Rebosi. Brandy Rebosi. So apparently they were sitting on the futon when Davis got up, picked up the backpack from the front of the apartment, and walked towards the door. Because her car keys and wallet were in the backpack, she tried to wrestle it from Davis's hands. That's not what happened. That backpack was full of my inheritance money. It had nothing to do with her keys and her wallet. It had everything to do with my fucking inheritance money, Natalie. Natalie Brown. Rebosi said that Morris reached for the bag and began grappling with Austin, kind of tugging at it. Yeah, they were fighting over it. And we were just sitting there posted up, watching the shit happen, trying to fucking stay calm, because we weren't trying to get hurt. Nobody was trying to get hurt. And I recall him pointedly not trying to, point the gun at her, but he was roughing her, and pushing her around, trying to get her off of him. So they were deliberately fighting over this backpack. It wasn't the fact that they were just, tug and pull. Like, they were actually fighting, and we were trying to defuse the situation. Emery and I both were trying to defuse the situation. I remember it because I ended up pulling Yayo outside. And that's the truth. And then it goes down and it says, Davis held the gun up in the air and said, "Motherfucker, you costed me $500," and began to shoot the pistol. So he prayed and sprayed. And then the bullet trajectory that's in this motherfucker even proves that he prayed and sprayed. Train confirmation. It says Officer Joshua Laster Officer Joshua Laster. And there was another officer. Who was it? It says the call was originated on Beach Street. That's wrong. That it did not originate on Beach Street at all. It actually happened at Beau's apartment on College Drive. The Pines. The Woodlands. It used to be called the Woodlands. Okay. Okay, yeah, so Detective Matt Cashhat and Joshua Laster, I think is supposed to be Lassiter, see, and that's the thing. Davis said he fired 6 or 8 shots with a .357 pistol. Drew's old Taurus that he had. But the gun that they had said was a 22. A 22. A little pea shooter. A revolver. Isn't that right, Sarah? So, and by the way, a .357, that's a 9mm bullet, by the way. If you're familiar with your fucking weapons, you dumb bitch. But apparently you're not, so it's okay. And it's okay you can't tie your own shoes either, but I'm a junkie, don't forget that. Drew, please don't be pissed at me. I'm doing this for a good reason, okay? I'm not trying to do this to hurt you or upset you or hurt your family or try to bring up old wounds. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to show you that your brother was murdered. And they imprinted memories of a court case in your brain. It never happened. I can't find the court docket anywhere in online at all, not even in Bowie County's court case dockets. And I have access to that. It's all on the internet. Anything like that now is on the internet for this reason. And I've been trying to contact the FBI about this and multiple cases as well as my own. I don't know. How about the fact that my family attempted to fucking file a fucking goddamn life insurance policy out on me again? Or how about the fact that I'm a U.S. Navy SEAL that's been AWOL for 12 fucking years, and they fucking told them that I was dead, or told everybody I was dead, and have been holding me hostage for 12 years. Mother. Or should I say Danae Cartwright? Because my mother doesn't even remember it. You stupid bitch. My uncle does. My uncle Matthew does. Matthew Hall remembered it. He remembered it about a year ago when my kids were murdered. And everybody has seen it energetically, and y'all just sit around and laugh like it's funny. It's disgusting and it's vile. So I guess I'll figure I'd start with the one case that looked really fucked up. And that's where it all began. And then it goes, the jury's verdict was supported by legal and factual sufficient evidence. What evidence did y'all submit into court? What actual factual evidence did you submit? What actual court hearing did you submit? None. You didn't submit any fucking court docket. You just fucking, you staged that shit. There's no actual court docket of Beau's death. Of justice for Bowie. And you ruined their lives. And they've been sitting here tearing each other apart, tearing themselves apart, and fighting for years because of your bullshit, Texarkana Chamber of Commerce. I guess her name is Kathy on the fucking, I don't know, she's a fucking bitch and she works for CASA. Yup. And Bobby Lockhart can say that. He knows who she is. Because I was the last case that he had before he stepped down. And he's tapped in. He's a Mason. Respectfully to him. And Marilyn knew. Marilyn knew something was up. But she couldn't fucking figure it out. Neither could Miss Myers. But they do now. Because they were both high priestesses in the ROC, I think. In the a part of the Rosy Cross. I'm just going to say a part of the Rosy Cross. Because I joined the Rosy Cross too. My membership's been put on hold because I can't pay. But, yes, I joined too. But, it says a hypothetically correct jury charge. Okay, so it goes, the 14th Amendment's due process guarantee prohibits a criminal defendant from being convicted of an offense and denied his liberty except upon proof sufficient to persuade the rational fact finder of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, why are we including in the 14th Amendment if this person was never even locked up? He's not in any he's not in ADC at all. He hasn't been at all. He's been roaming around free for fucking since 2009. 2008, 2009. Nope, I won't shut the fuck up. It says, our analysis of whether the proof is sufficient is measured against the elements of a hypothetically correct murder jury charge. Malik versus State. 95.3 SW. I think that's a Supreme Court case, by the way. Texas Criminal Appeal at 1997. See, also Grody versus State. Another Supreme Court. But none of them had anything to do with this case at all. Like, I looked them up. They're not the same. They have nothing to do with how this case should have been ran. If it did get tried. But it never got tried. It never even saw a judge. Did it, Bill Miller? The hypothetically correct jury charge sets out the law is authorized by the indictment, does not unnecessarily increase the state's burden of proof or unnecessarily restrict the state's theories of liability, and adequately describes the particular offense for which the defendant was tried. It is both used to evaluate both legal and factual sufficiency, which there obviously was none. Texas Penal Code and subsection 603, section A, Vernon, 2003. My grandfather's name was Vernon, by the way. And that's not an actual code. I looked it up. So what's really going on, Danae and Carly Anderson and Cade Mayo? Davis was indicted for intentionally or knowingly causing Gibson's death in violation of Section 19.02 of the Texas Penal Code. Not legit. It's not. Not in this case. If it was tried. (1902) is the death row fucking penal code, by the way. Just to let you know. So apparently whoever did all this didn't really study their fucking penal codes after all, did y'all? You pieces of shit. Exactly. Penal codes. Texas criminal and penal codes. The codes of the law. Penal code and. That's not a legit penal code. None of these are legit penal codes. And I know that because I took criminal justice with Professor Gilden at Texarkana College. And I actually, believe it or not, as boring as it was, and as a pain in the ass as it was, I did memorize a lot of them penal codes. I studied. Because I wanted to be a good attorney. And eventually strive to be a judge. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it in the military, though. I wanted to go into the Navy, become a lawyer, and then become a judge. It says, Davis was intentionally, if it was his conscious objective or desire to engage in the conduct or cause the result. Then it gives that bullshit penal code. And he says he acted knowingly if he was aware that his conduct was reasonably certain to cause the result. The evidence was legally sufficient to prove Davis caused Gibson's death. What evidence did you submit to what court? You didn't. You fucking staged it, guessed it, and then covered him up. You silenced him. He never got justice. And neither did they. And they felt it, but they couldn't place it. And they couldn't just go to court and try to prove it without the sufficient evidence for it. But I found the sufficient evidence for it right here. And I know the full story. Because I was there. I witnessed it. Because it was over my inheritance money, Danae Cartwright, Christina Hall, Sierra Richardson, Natalie Brown. You fucking traitorous ass bitches. You betrayed me, Emery, and Yayo for the final fucking time. Marcus and Megan. Drew, too. Marcus is supposed to be Drew's best friend. Marcus is a fucking traitorous snake, Drew. So if you hear this, stay the fuck away from him. He's trying to get you set up, too. They have been for years. And because of me, I've been, believe it or not, behind the scenes, been keeping y'all from fucking, especially Emery, Yayo, Jake, my own brother, for money. They've been trying to get, they're getting insurance claims from from death, from people dying, Carol and Poole. And the thing is Marilyn and Terry honestly worked for their money. They worked their ass off. Terry, Drew's aunt, used to be an attorney for an oil company in Houston. She would do documents. So she hears me, which she's probably shook the fuck up and has been for the last couple days. So Miss Myers, I'm really sorry that this is happening this way. But y'all deserve to know this because I knew Bo. We were friends. We weren't friends for very long, but we became friends in a short amount of a time. Because I remember him running over Drew and laughing because Emery was in the car with him. Yep. But because I remember Marilyn I remember Marilyn coming outside and telling them to stop fucking around. Just like whenever I almost ran over Drew in the driveway. And he ran in and he was like, Mom, he was like, Dad's just trying to ram me over. And Marilyn was like, Drew, I'm on the phone. She came outside and told Drew and Bo and Emery to stop fucking around. With a yardstick. Respectfully to her. And this all started because my kids were murdered too. And they've been covering it up for a year. And everybody has seen it. But they don't know what to do about it because they're scared. And I know what it feels like, Marilyn. Like, I know what it feels like to have your son or your kids taken from you. And you have to suffer in silence. So, everything I said is of sound mind and of sound judgment. And also, just to close this out, tell me why it's not notarized or signed. If this is a legit appeal, why is this not notarized or signed? With a seal of a judge. Or even a printing of a judge's name. There's no judge on it. So Sarah Poole, if you fucking hear this, don't ever pretend to be me again, because you couldn't do half the work that I did. And I'm the Eternal Phoenix, and I'm still rising.